Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Gore HD here, or Collin, bringing you another commentary. I got a new little series for you here today. Funny story. Funny that I say that actually, because the name of the series, I'm gonna call it Story Time. You know what? We all need some story time every once in a while, right? And I just feel like I have, some interesting stories that I like to share, and I think this is a good way to do it. So, Jake actually gave me this idea. He came up to me and he was like, "Hey, Colin, I think I'm gonna start a little series called Storytime or something along those lines." And I was like, "Sounds cool." And he's like, "You should do the same because you have that one really cool story about having a gun pulled on you, or a shotgun rather, and you guys kind of having to run away from it." And I was like, "You know what? That sounds like a great idea." So I think without further ado, I'll go ahead and get right in. Well. It was in, let's see, I lived with my mom and my dad are divorced, and I was living with my dad at the time. It was in Arizona, and my dad was mad for some reason. I don't know. He doesn't really have a short fuse, but whenever he gets mad, he gets mad. And he was angry. I don't remember what it was, but he was just angry. And we were pulling around a stoplight, and we were turning right, so we turned right on the stoplight. And as we turned right, our light was green and the other light facing the other way was red. And this guy from the other direction, from to our left, as we're pulling to the right, blows through the stoplight. I mean, it's a red light. He blows through it at about 80 miles an hour. And then he looks at my dad and acts like my dad did something wrong. And he looks over there, and my dad like shrugs his shoulders, like, "What the hell are you doing?" And the guy flips my dad off. And I remember my dad saying these words: "Isn't it your lucky day?" And my dad was pissed. He hit the gas and pretty much went about 70 miles an hour and chased this guy down all the way up until the next light. This was in about a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit zone too, and the next light was probably half a mile away. So we pulled up, and it happened to be at a red light. My dad, he's pulling up to the red light, going from 70 to 0, and he pretty much slams on the brakes. And as the car gets down to about 30, he opens the door. And my dad's not a small guy. He's actually he's on the very larger side. He's about 6'5", and he weighs a good 280. So he's pretty big. And as the door's opening at about 30 miles an hour, my dad starts to get out. He pretty much jumps out of the car when the car slows down to around. I'm not gonna say. I mean, he didn't jump out of the car, but he had his door open and had his foot out of the car. And when the car was going about 20, and he slams on the brakes and gets out. So he gets out of the car, and the guy, is in front of us. He really had no idea. He had just looked at it as, I just flipped someone off, no big deal. Well, when he flipped my dad off, it's not really no big deal. I guess my dad takes extreme offense to that. Evidently, I found out this night. So my dad gets out of the car and literally just steps back and drop kicks it with a Chuck Norris freaking. It wasn't a roundhouse kick, but might as well have been. I mean, he stepped back and drop kicked it. And the little car that it was, had a huge dent in it after that. I mean, it was like a footprint. And the guy turns around, and my dad's like all fired up, giving him the signal to get out of the car and let's go. He wanted a piece of his ass at this moment. I mean, he was pissed. And so my dad pretty much just, he was like, "Get out of the car, let's go, let's go." And the guy's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, I didn't do anything. What's going on? What's going on?" And he's like, "You flipped me off." And the guy's like, "What? He's like, "It's just a middle finger." And he really wasn't saying most of this. So my dad, like, he started to beat on the back of his car and was like, "Get out of the car." And my dad turns around and looks at us. Me and my brother are in the car just kind of watching, and I was hysterically laughing at this point. And when he turns back around, the guy has a shotgun pointed out the window, and it was pointed right at my face. Honestly, he was sitting in the driver's seat, and he took the shotgun, laid it outside of the passenger window, and just kind of tilted his hand to where the gun was pointing behind him. And I ducked for my life. My dad was like, "Oh God," gets in the car. We're still stuck at a red light, so we have to run the red light and turn right down this little neighborhood road. And that guy was forced going straight. So once we found out he had a gun, the whole scenario changed. I mean, it was not cool at this point. So we actually end up kind of running away from him in a way. And about 5 minutes later, we decided to go ahead and go right back down the road where we were originally going. Maybe the coast is clear. So we go down that way, And little, we come to find out that this guy appears to be searching for us. He was going it was a highway, a 4-lane highway, 2 lanes on each side, and he was coming back the other way as we were going this way. So my dad, we're all kind of in a tense moment right now. We speed up. I'm sure you would be too if you were being chased by a man with a gun. But we speed up, and we pretty much try to evade him. We pulled into a grocery store parking lot, and my dad told us to go to the back of the store. Okay, and my dad has had some from what I've heard about his fight stories, he was a fighter when he was young, and he laid some guys out. So my dad gets at the front of the store and prepares to knock this guy out as he comes in the store. So I guess the guy had ended up finding our car in the parking lot, parks, and starts coming into the store. The guy was walking in the store, and my dad, and then the guy walks in the store. My dad's right there. I mean, he's ready to pounce if the guy does anything. The guy reaches his hand out to shake my dad's hand. And we're, what the heck is going on here? And the guy tries to reason with him. And my dad's like, dude, I think you probably had the cops called on you, because he pulled the gun out in the middle of a stoplight where there was at least 15 other people out and stuck it out the window towards whoever knows how many people. So it couldn't have been a minute later he said that. He was like, you might want to get out of here. They had kind of, I don't know, my dad comes to agreements really quickly. They'd kind of come to an agreement, and my dad's like, you probably better get out of here. So the guy goes out to his car, and it wasn't a minute later where, before the whole squad rolled around the corner. I mean, I think they had called the SWAT or something on him, Jesus Christ. And they get, about 3 or 4 police cars come running around the corner. All the cops hop out of there with armored vests and machine guns, and pretty much I just got to watch and spectate. That guy ended up going to jail, and we got away, or my dad did anyways, because he didn't pull the gun. And it was just an overall pretty cool experience, but it was also very scary. Alright, so hope you guys like this series. If you do, go on ahead and let me know. I have some other cool stories I could tell you. You guys have a great day, great night, and peace out.